WHEAL Uni, which is in the area of Redruth. In this video I explain what the engine houses did, how they worked, and some historical bits and pieces. I hope you enjoy, folks. Let's go. Hello folks, welcome back to Kerno EXP. This evening I bring you to an engine house. We're not here by ourselves, we have Mrs. Kerno with us. There she is down there. Hello Mrs. Kerno.
Hello.
So we are at a well-known Cornish engine house. This is WHEAL Uni, folks. One of the richest ones in and around the Redruth area. So I'm not sure if you can see brilliantly, but we do have the torch with us, the H2R Nova, which is Olight. So we're on an embankment. We've just flown the drone. We flew it into Redruth town, but we stopped short of the railway line because you're not allowed to cross the railway line apparently. So we didn't cross the railway line, folks. We was about 50 meters away from it, which is the legal limit. So we've got to find Mrs. Kerno because she's down here somewhere. Right, so I'll explain about the engine house to you once we get down, because I don't really want to fall on my ass. It's not recommended. Ooh, flipping heck. Bloody brambles. Ow! Bloody shit. Right, okay. Right, well, Mrs. Kerno's over there. There's Mrs. Kerno. So, I don't want to blast her with the light. So, this is the shaft here, and it goes down a fair way. We will try. Oh, there's pigeons down there. I'll try and get you down in there. It's a little bit awkward. Right, so as you can see, it goes down a fair way and there's some adits going off. So it is possible to gain access down there, but I can't really reveal how you do that because we all know that people with lesser knowledge and correct gear shouldn't be going in places like that. Right, so this engine house here is a pumping engine, and what that is for pumping the water out of the ground and keeping the mine dry and allowing the miners to work deep underground. Now this wall here, which is what we're on right now, we'll just take you up so you can have a look. This wall here, as you can see, it's quite thick. This is the bob wall. And the bob was the great beam that was at the top there, which rocked up and down by the aid of steam power. The cylinder was on up top, just up top there. And basically that rocked up and down, which rocked up in the shaft, which worked a series of pumps, which rose the water up in stages. So, I don't know where Mrs. Kerno is. She can't be too far, hopefully. Where's Mrs. Kerno? Come on. Hey? Well, I'm going to walk round to the other engine house. Come on. Right, so this doorway, this window way here, folks, was access all kind of to the cataracts, which was a bottom part of the engine house. The windows above that are the driving floor. The window above that is the cylinder floor or middle chamber, and the window right up the top there is the very top chamber where the bob was. So now we'll walk around and we'll head towards the other engine house. So come on folks, let's go. Not too loud, Mrs. Palmer, because you might get captured on film. She's not impressed, folks. It's getting colder. There's a bit of a trap there. You got your torch, Ibby? There's a bit of a trap right there. Right, so there's another view of the pumping engine house. You'll notice the chimney which is attached to the side. The boiler house would have been to the left there, folks, and that would have provided power for the steam engine, and that would have worked 24 hours a day non-stop. You can see the plug doorway, which is, I'll just point to it, which is this bit here. That's the plug doorway. I think my torch has died a bit, is it? No. Right. So you can see the plug doorway has been widened because when they scrapped the engine inside, they would have took the bricks out at the bottom there, and obviously everything was smashed up and recycled. Anyway, let's go to the other engine house, folks. Do you want a head torch, Jen? We can have one in a minute when we've finished filming. Oh, please yourself. Can't please the women, can you, folks, sometimes. Right, so this other engine house here is a WHEAL. WHEAL is Cornish for winding engine. And it would have had 2 drums outside, which we'll get to those in a second. Whoop. Birdie. Right, okay. So you see this foundation, which is here, this foundation here. There was one on the opposite side. It's been robbed away, unfortunately, by local farmers and what have you. You can stay there if you want. So there would have been another wall roughly where we are, about here, and there would have been, actually it could be quite wide, but I don't think it was that wide. So we'll just go into the cataracts a minute. So we are now in the cataracts. But somebody's robbed that way down there. Look, I've been digging that out. Don't know what they hope to find in there. So there ain't going to be much in there. Right, this is the cataracts, the small little cataracts, which is the lower part of the engine. Now, to explain what this engine was, there's one wall here, and there would have been another wall, probably 6 foot the other side of it, where that glowing is. That's Mrs. Kerno there. And inside of those 2 walls, there would have been a drum, and that drum would have had wire wool around it. Not wire wool, what am I talking about? Wire rope around it. Now, the engine itself was a conventional type of engine with the bob and the cylinder, Cornish principle, which it was in there, folks. So it would have rocked up and down, probably double acting. That means steam is admitted both sides of the cylinder, so it makes it very powerful. It's a bit like Eastpool Mine, Mitchell's WHEAL, very similar, if not identical. This is a very small engine house, but it doesn't donate the size of the engine that was inside of here. It probably was a 30 to 40 inch cylinder. So you've still got remains of some of the whitewash on the walls there, folks. Can you see that? Up there you can. Yeah, it's amazing that, after all these years. So, yeah, so this one would have been in operation just for winding a kibble, which is a bucket, up and down in the shaft. And, of course, it would have wound the men up and down in shaft as well. The shaft in question is remains of the boiler house wall there, folks. So it's quite a substantial engine house. Because usually, right, a boiler house, usually when it's a small concern, yeah, the boiler house was just a timber frame cladded in crinkly tin, corrugated sheets. That was a common thing. But because this is a proper built wall, this was probably well, it is a very rich mine indeed. Usually up the top of the engine house on the side here, you can see the ghost of the cement of where the pointing would have been for the roof, but we can't see that there, unfortunately. But there is an iron hook up there which I can see. Now this doorway here, this is the original doorway from the boiler house in to the engine house, and you can always tell that. It's very clear. But obviously over the years, look, some of the stones have been robbed away, because obviously granite is worth quite a bit of money, especially when it's dressed like this. But it's magic that this place is still in situ. So we'll just walk around here a minute and then we'll say goodbye. Oops. So we're heading to the chimney, folks. So this was probably one Cornish boiler that served this engine house. I'm thinking it's probably a Holman's of Camborne boiler. I don't know for sure, but that was probably what it was. There's the chimney. Sorry about the blur, the camera's having a don't want to. There you go. That's the chimney. It would have been a lot taller than that originally, but obviously over the years some of the bricks have fallen off or been robbed away. We'll just walk into the first chamber. So here we are, folks. There's the chimney, by the way. You can just see it there. So there would have been a very small flue from there straight into the boiler house, which was right there. So this is inside the engine house. This is the driving floor, as we call it. This is where the controls of the engine would have been. So it would have been a Stephenson link motion, I should imagine, and with gearing and that. Double acting engine, quite powerful. This is quite a unique engine, really, because it's not been mucked about with like a lot of them have. And that's the plug doorway, which is just over there. There would have been the drum and the Stephenson's link motion going through the hole, which I don't see the hole there, so it's probably narrowed down to just below there. There we are, folks. Hope you enjoyed. We'll be back again. I'm not sure what we're doing tomorrow at the moment. I've got a few things lined up, so I'm hoping to produce another video over the weekend. So I will let you all know on the information part and on the Facebook group. Also, this video will probably be released on all 3 channels. Anyway, we'll see you soon. Look after yourself, stay safe, and until next time, cheers and gone. Well, folks, I hope you enjoyed your virtual explore around WHEAL Uni, a very rich tin and copper mine. We'll be back again very soon indeed, and until then, cheers and gone, folks.